Hello. Well, how hard could it be to actually start one of these things? Because I've got an answer for you. It's really hard. The main reason I say that is pretty much because I've basically been procrastinating on making this first video of like this kind of series for gosh, I don't even know. It was probably like 2 months. And it was just like real life just caught up with everything. And yeah, yeah, when real life just catches up with things, you just kind of forget about like the hobbies you want to do, that sort of thing. So, and then you just forget, and then you come back, and then you realize, jeez, this is something I wanted to do. And then you just come up with a bunch of reasons not to do it, and then you forget again. And the cycle goes on and on and on and on and on. Which is, well, kind of embarrassing to admit, but yeah, it's sort of like what I call well, the term I like to call it is like analysis paralysis, but that's also like applicable to a bunch of other things. But basically, like it's just come with the fear that of starting things because we're worrying about too much to begin with. So it's like with me, I'm sort of like worrying about, oh, it means I have to set up. It means I have to set up the game I want to play. I have to set up OBS, which is Open Broadcaster software for those who don't know. And then it's like I worry about other things like don't particularly like the sound of my own voice, that sort of thing. And and then it's just like, well, even if like I do things, I'm sometimes there may be some things I'm not happy about, and then it's just like I'm playing this game right now called Titan Quest, and it's just like, well, it's just like the criticism that I suppose I'm afraid of as well, and which, in hindsight, just seems kind of silly, but yeah, it's just one of those things that just feels very deterring, and it just makes me put off doing this sort of thing for way too long. And I guess I should probably touch on sort of like why I want to do this, and it's sort of like I pretty much watch a lot of YouTubers who sort of do very similar things. I watch Northern Lion when he rambles on, and he's usually always telling some kind of story or just I don't know. He's got a way of talking about things and life that he just makes you want to be that kind of guy that you like to hang out with. And I was thinking, well, I'd sort of like to do that too. Like I don't get out enough to be like talking with people about just random things about life or perspectives or insights or that sort of thing. And it's also the reason why I blog, basically, because when I blog, it's like I get to put down on, I suppose, paper, but on, I suppose, more factually correct would be a screen. I get to put down on screen some of the thoughts that every now and then I would just love to bounce off someone else, and it's also because if I don't have a way of getting these thoughts out, it just kind of builds up in my head. And there are times where I just don't quite have this mental trash bin, or like I'm not able to put away these thoughts. So, and the other thing is basically, well, I like playing games, and part of it is sort of just like it's sort of like, how do I say this, is, and I guess it's sort of like sharing the experience with other people. Although, I mean, part of the reason I chose this one to sort of just like talk while I play is mainly because it's not, I don't imagine it's very interesting to watch, but at the same time, it's sort of, how do I put it? It's simple enough to play that I can actually just talk and not pay a lot of attention to the actual gameplay while I'm actually talking. But whereas with other games, you know, maybe I have to focus a bit more, like, well, there's plenty of them out there, and I mean, I imagine I would probably be doing, I guess, a little more involved in the game sort of thing. But I suppose for a bit of perspective, is I should probably touch on what I'm sort of like just aiming to do with this video. So it's kind of like I sort of want to try and get running a series on just like a vlog sort of thing. So it's just like a vlog where I just talk about my life while I, you know, just play a very it's like I talk about my life or something that's on my mind while I play a game, and yeah, that's pretty much the idea, to have a regular vlog series where I talk about things and I play a game at the same time. And let's see, I've got too many. I'll just sell a couple of stacks, and I should probably put this in storage. So yeah, it's just like talking about this while playing a game, enjoying the game, and he sort of just also gives me an outlet to that sort of thing, and just get you know, it's just like occasionally I think about interesting things to talk about, but there's like no one that I feel like I can really talk about it with at the time being. So whoops, that should be right click, and there we go. So yeah, I guess the plan is to make this sort of a kind of regular series thing, which is, it feels a bit silly because I'm not very good with sort of like maintaining regular blog posts, because it just feels like I have to think of a topic and then think of enough content to write, and then put the post together, and then edit the post. And see, this is the kind of analysis paralysis that just sort of basically just stops me from doing productive things, because it's very easy to get caught up in all the details, and then when you just look at the thing as a whole, it just feels like a really big thing that you have to do. It feels like it's a lot of effort, when really you should just be focusing on, you know, the next tractable step. So like for me, it was just, to be honest, I'm not sure what finally got me onto like actually recording this one particular evening, but I suppose it was just like, well, I've had a very lazy day today. I'm recording this on a Saturday. I had a very lazy morning. I taught my cello students, and then I just kind of watched a lot of YouTube and Netflix throughout the day, and got a few small things done, but nothing as much as I would normally do, like, or get done on a weekday. And I suppose I was feeling a bit of guilt about it. And the other thing is that it's also the weekend, and next week I've actually got a break from volunteering, so it's just like, okay, well, should probably try and focus on doing something different, basically something different. And I was just thinking back to, well, just things I would like to do, and this was just basically one of it. And I guess the guilt of not starting this project overrode the guilt from leaving this project up, or not actually continuing on this kind of project. And yeah, the slight imbalance, and now I've got this up and running, so I'm happy. I'm happy to be talking. And come on. Okay, just, there we go. Okay, so yeah, and happy to be talking, happy to be recording, and I'm hoping I have enough discipline to make this sort of like a regular thing, or just comfortable enough to just switch on this and talk about, just switch on this and you get talking whenever I feel like it. And yeah, I guess one of the other reasons is that like there's no one that can hold me accountable to that sort of thing. And for some reason, I'm not very good at holding it accountable to myself. At least with this kind of thing, because it's sort of like, well, it's like, well, I forgive myself. I'll just do it. I'll just do it next time when I'm in the mood, and it's just like, yeah, it's very easy to get sort of trapped in the whole, well, you know, I'm not gonna punish myself over it because I'm the one who set myself the task and I should know myself better and that kind of thing. So it's a little silly, and when I think about it, there's like other things that I hold myself accountable for, as in some parts, and I suppose probably the one that comes to mind is sort of just like when I'm playing, when I'm performing, it's sort of because I know what kind of standard I want to adhere up to, and also when I perform, I'm aware of the mistakes I make. So I sort of just hold myself accountable for that, because it's sort of like, yeah, I guess it's when I'm performing and I make mistakes, I know I made these mistakes, but it's like here, I don't know what it's like to sort of just get on to doing this sort of thing, so I guess it's not as easy to sort of like punish myself for that, what doesn't seem to be a mistake to begin with, because ultimately I don't know how this is gonna go, and I don't know how ultimately this is gonna wind up being, so I don't exactly know what I'm gonna get out of it, basically. And I suppose, yeah, it's quite interesting, because I haven't actually gone like through the whole thought process when, well, I suppose a bit of an explanation first. It's more that I really like to plan things, and like I knew what I had to do this. I knew what I had to do to set this up. I knew exactly how to set it up. It's just I had to actually do it. And yeah, life is strange. I guess one of the things I randomly read on Reddit is that it was just like, well, if you're a young kid and how do I say this? Now that YouTube is sort of something more accessible, it's much more easier for people to record videos. There's obviously a wider variety of people who actually sort of just record and upload these videos, and those wider variety of people include younger people who actually don't worry about these things. So, I mean, with the popularity of Minecraft, there's probably a ton of kids out there who sort of just record something and they just upload it, and they don't, it's not that they don't care about quality, they're not aware about the quality. And so like maybe the video will be extremely bad, but they've had that avenue where they let the imagination sort of just run wild, and they're basically being kids. And yeah, it's just thinking about this makes me realize, you know, how much older I am. I mean I am 25, which is, I suppose, old enough relative to the YouTubers I listen to. And it's strange. I mean, it's one of those things that makes me wish that I would, you know, a bit younger. Maybe I didn't know so much. Maybe I didn't care so much. And yeah, it's just something interesting to think about. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm seeing something on the minimap, which means I'm close to the next town. That's a good thing. Now I'm just gonna scope out the area and kill more monsters. Whoops, and dodge, and so I guess I should probably so basically this game is called Titan Quest, as you probably saw in the login, well, I suppose the starting screen. And the reason I sort of just picked this because it's like throughout my playthrough, it's how do I say it? It's sort of like the save points are very evenly spaced, and I know that it takes me about it takes me about 20 or 30 minutes to get to the next save point, which means like every episode will basically be short enough for me to play the game talk about something, and then and it doesn't feel like so absolutely long that I feel like I have to be dragging out whatever I'm thinking about at the moment. And well, I suppose in some retrospect I am doing that already now that I've sort of just switched topics from just the general introduction of guess what I was thinking, that sort of thing. But the other thing is that it's also short enough for me, like how do I say this? I guess I guess part of it is like maybe I should just touch on the other aim is that I am pretty bad at sort of like sort of just formulating thoughts, and no, not formulating thoughts, more talking on the fly, because it's sort of like I'm trying to think at the same time as I'm talking, and my brain tends to think faster than I can talk, basically. So it's sort of a medium for me to sort of try and pace myself a bit when I'm talking, and to be able to properly structure my thoughts a bit more and maybe put them in some coherent order. Because right now in my head it just feels like there's multiple trains of thoughts, and I'm just basically riding one of these trains, and it's just a literal flow of what's being said in my head down to my mouth. And I guess the fact that I'm playing a game at the same time means that I'm not basically not spending all my mental power on thinking, and which basically means that I can just sort of like focus on one train of thought and just go from there. And now I was actually gonna talk about the game Titan Quest, and I see. So I mean that's just an example of how my train of thought just sort of just runs from one place to another. I just sort of think of the next thing that just links to I just sort of think of the next thing that's sort of related that comes to mind, and I just say it. So I guess a bit more about Titan Quest. It's actually a pretty old game, and I'm playing it with the Immortal Throne expansion, and it's I don't actually know how to describe it. It's definitely like a top-down action RPG, I suppose. I gotta admit, I don't really research the games. I just play them. although like eventually I'm hoping to sort of do like a let's play sort of thing, but I sort of like touch on games that are interesting to me, basically, and not just all the popular AAA/indie titles. But yeah, that's sort of just a plan for another time. Whoops, thank you. Yeah, but I suppose that's like a plan for another time. So for now, it's like just gotta focus on the first thing in front of me, and a quest. I think those monsters make things hard. We don't have walls, there are city guards in now. Crocodiles that walk like men attack us nightly. These crocodile men made our village, they steal our children, our livestock, and then they're gone. Too much first, how can we tell our farmers, how can we work with you? Reptilians. I gotta admit, I read faster than oh, I seem to have missed the quest, which is well, maybe I'll go back to it in my free time, in my own spare time. Let's just take the other quest. Cut off the master along the river and take off fish. Village? What is H? Okay, I should. Alright, so yeah, it's basically these rebirth fountains that are pretty much the same point. And looking at the recording, yeah, I'm just reaching 20 minutes, so I will wrap this up for this video. To those who have randomly stumbled across this, thank you for listening all the way through, and yeah, I will see you on the next video.